Welcome, everyone, to the FG Podcast. I'm your host, Zach, and I'm back with Caesar, Jay, and Angel. The FG Podcast is here to show everyone in real time what it's like to be a content creator and build a following. We are all creatives and work full-time building our businesses, which focus on building our own brands and working with businesses to do content marketing. Thanks for joining us on this week's show, where we will be joined by Itzel Sombrano. Itzel is a local El Paso brand strategist and works full-time in helping companies realize their brand vision. Today, we hope to connect the idea of a comprehensive brand strategy to content creation. So I wanted to start off as usual with asking, just kind of checking in with everyone. How's everyone doing? What's new this week? What's exciting you right now? And what are you creating?
What's new? We did that team exercise, but it said that was awesome.
We're definitely going to get into that a little later.
Yeah, that's new. What else is new this week? I started going back to the gym consistently. It feels great. I don't know. I'm a little conflicted because I'm like, damn, I kind of just want to get to the office at 5 a.m. And I'm like, where does the gym fit? It has to fit somewhere. My life is currently three things: go to the gym, create stuff here, build stuff, and go to sleep. Or actually family is the third thing.
Amen.
And I was like, I like that. That's enough. That's enough for now. But what else is new? Oh, and we just, God, dude, there's just Hormozy. Alex Hormozy. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I just blew out our musicians' eardrums. Alex Hormozy, dude.
Why don't you tell us what's exciting you about Hormozy?
Dude, he just released his book, $100 Million Leads. I read the book. I listened to the audiobook. I'm halfway through the course, and you fucks haven't even started. And
Whatever.
it's pissing me off.
Okay.
Huh?
All right. I'm in the middle of it.
I'm going to start it. I'm going to start it this week. So.
All right. I feel like I have cheat codes. All right. I feel like I have business cheat codes right now, and it gave me a lot of clarity. Plus, it said this thing, and I was like, oh my God. And it's like the one thing that we just need now is organization and like a machine. We just move like a machine, like a unit, and I'm ready to crush. There's nobody to crush, but like I'm just ready to crush, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Angel, how about you? What's going on with you this week?
Just a lot of editing, a lot of relaxing, taking a couple of breaks here and there. And then our recording session that we had yesterday with that company. And that
You can say their name.
Oh, yeah? Okay, with Mattress Firm. Yeah. I guess I just didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were living out like our childhood dreams there. And
It's shocking the stuff we get to do and get paid to do.
It was honestly really exciting. And then, yeah, that book, that seminar, it was very life-changing. A lot of good conversations. Yeah.
Awesome. Jay, how about yourself?
I think just moving forward with the company, like we're all coming together and getting organized. And yeah, we had our first team shoot yesterday. It was a lot of fun. And then, yeah, I'm just excited. There's a lot of clarity this week. And I think we're going places, boys.
Amen. So, Itzel, I wanted to kind of check in with you. How's your week going? What's new with you? What's been going on? And also, can you give us a little bio and background of yourself? Like, where are you from? Where'd you go to school?
Yeah.
Things like that.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This is an amazing experience to be here with you and actually doing a podcast. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
We're so happy to have you, honestly.
Thank you. And yeah, well, I'm Itzel, and I'm from Ciudad Juarez. I went there until high school. Then I came here to El Paso to study graphic design at UTEP. And then from there, just since high school, design called me, and I've been into this world since then. And now 2020 was kind of like a year where like the before and after. I quit my job, and then a year later, I started my studio, and now we're here. And this week has been exciting because I think that slowly also moving forward. Things are moving forward, and having the opportunity to share a little bit about what I do with you, and this week it was amazing.
That was a really great experience. And I want to get into that a little bit. So can you kind of walk us through what the kind of workshop you kind of walked us through the other day?
Yes, I mean a little bit of
What do you call that exactly?
that is a core exercise, a brand core exercise, and it was because we touched and the culture or the environment that you want to create, the user, the people that you want to work with, then the voice that you want to have for the people out there, the feeling that you want to create, the impact, and then what makes you different. So that's basically the pillars of this exercise. And I think that for me as a graphic designer, doing it with people gives me and gives them this like insights and clarity on organization to start a project. And for me, I think that that is part of my foundation, strategy foundations, that I think that is super important for a company or for a project. It's like building a house. You're not gonna start building your house in toothpicks. You want a like strong foundation because you want something that is gonna last.
I just wanted to I always start the episode with a quote, and I found this quote for this episode, and I kind of wanted to get everyone's feedback on this. It's by Jeff Bezos. He says, "A brand for a company is like a reputation for a person. You earn reputation. You earn reputation by trying to do hard things well." What do you got? How do you think that relates to kind of what we went through the other day?
Yes, I mean, is like I was kind of like explaining, a brand is like you're creating this human identity virtually, but that it's going to interact with people. And that has this thing that you guys have each perspective, but then when you put together, you are creating this new thing into the world, and that is gonna, like, a human is gonna have the personality, the voice, the impact, negative or possibly, and a brand strategy is just to kind of taking the time to make that the most positive impact that you can. Yes.
So I wanted to talk to you guys about the experience that we went through with Itzel. What do you guys think was the most valuable part of, her walking us through that core exercise the other day? What did you glean from it, essentially?
I guess the clarity that came from it.
Absolutely. That's what I would say.
The clarity was just, it's awesome. It gives you like a direction in regards to just how you take every task within the business itself, and the image that we're attempting to present. It also allows for like filtering of like, as we get like these new ideas, is it relating to this core value that we've built, or this core message? And I mean, that's really, really valuable, because I mean, a lot of the times it would feel like I was lost, and it's just like, well, how do I handle this new piece of information? Do I follow this route? Is this the way our brand should go? And it's just super helpful.
Caesar, what did you think?
Yeah, I think to expand on that, it's like the finding out what our biggest common thing was or theme was in every section. Like, because you had to think more than just yourself. I like how she laid out the picture in the beginning, where it's like the four of us, we have our own identity and stuff, and then we're creating this new person with its own identity. So that once I had that in mind, as we were like narrowing down the themes, that was like the coolest thing, because I had to think about the team as well, not just me, but also think about me and like what resonates the most, and then like push back when like, no, that doesn't resonate at all with me, or like, okay, yeah, I'm with that does resonate. And it was really cool to see how, for me, one of the biggest, most impactful moments when we all decided that our X factor was that we're lifelong learners. Because I've journaled for years, and you can go back a few years and where I write down and like my intentions to be a lifelong learner, and like I want to be surrounded by other lifelong learners. And then it's pretty crazy to have found them back in El Paso, where I had not been for years and where I grew up.
Absolutely. Jay, what do you think about the experience?
Yeah, I agree with what both of you guys said. I think my favorite part was we all kind of were saying the same thing in different words. So we were able to get somewhere quickly and agree pretty quickly. I don't think there was a word where like it was like, nah, we'll just pick it. I think we were like, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. And yeah, the lifelong learners as well. It's like, that's exactly why I get along. Well, when I met him, we got along so well way before Zazie was even an idea. I don't even think you were a photographer, but we were the same. Like, I would do intense physical fitness. I would do ice baths. I would do like crazy weird things fast, and he was doing the same. And then I feel like you guys are similar. You guys are always reading and You guys are wise, and so it's cool to see that we came together and didn't take our heads off.
I agree completely, Jay. And I think the best part about it for me was the fact that it wasn't contentious. It was very collaborative, like we were all on the same page. And that was like a good kind of defining moment for us, like, because we don't know what this new thing is that we're creating yet, So to see that we aligned on core values and voice and, all these different aspects was really exciting to me. It's just like, I know I'm in the right place now. I kind of wanted to dig into a little bit of what we went through, and kind of just ask a broad question to Itzel. So for a company that's starting out, how do you define a brand's voice and tone? Like, how do they define it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like having this in mind. I think it's all about the mindset and how you see what you're creating, and the voice and the tone. For me, it's all the interactions that a brand has with its audience, with people, with humans out there. So that is how you communicate. And a brand, it's using design. Design is kind of like the media to communicate your message, communicate what you do, communicate all what a brand is, and how you say those things. That is your voice and your tone, and that can be, like we said, like it can be bold, it can be in your face, it can be kind, friendly, it can be a lot of ways. But what is most what resonate with what you guys are creating? So it's finding the little things, but they are, yeah, they're guiding you, because everything that you create something is, how are we gonna say it? Is this consistent with what we're doing? So having that clarity of like how you communicate things as a group, I think that has a lot of value and helpful.
And I think one of the ways that we communicate, I mean, us as content creators, we put out content, So how does that voice and tone get influenced by the content? Like, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube short or something like that, like how does the type of content be created? Like, how is it influenced by the brand and tone, essentially?
So like the content, let me see if I understood the question. So the content, how the voice and tone, it's influenced
Exactly.
by the content
Exactly.
that you create. Okay.
If that's too difficult of a
No,
question.
I mean, no, I think that it's a constant evolution, because a brand, like a human, it's constantly in evolution, and you might want to say some things in a way that, I don't know if maybe I'm a little broad, but it's yeah, I think that it's the constant evolution that what is going on in real life versus like what is it that you want to create in the future, and how your voice adapts to that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sorry, it was a tough question too.
No, yeah.
So I kind of wanted to get into what are the trends that you're seeing in what you do right now, like in terms of branding and strategy, and as a company, like how do we incorporate some of the trends that you see happening without losing who we are, who our identity is that we developed the other day? Like we want to be on brand with ourselves, but we also want to follow the trends to a certain extent, right?
Yes. Yeah, for me, I think that not that I stay away of trends. Of course, I see what's happening, and for me, it's like it's like do the research of what's happening and how people are doing it, but then I come back to the strategy, all this going back to who you are, and then I think that translates into authenticity of what you want to do, because I think that doing, like, for you knowing, okay, this is what's important for me, this is what I want to create, it really helps you to stay consistent, and also gives you that self-awareness of what you're doing, of what you're creating, and instead of like, okay, what others are doing. And yes, I do, the trends are important, because of course it's kind of like a massive thing that gets impacted to everybody. But for me, I think it's very important to always come back to your roots. to always have this around you, and to, because I think that for me that helps you stay consistent and authentic. I think that for me it's finding people that really want to be themselves, and instead of like, okay, well, this is trendy and yeah, let's do it and it's gonna last for some time. Yes, but maybe this other way it's a little slower, but I think for me it's the most authentic.
And that was our topic of our podcast last week, was authenticity. So we really dug into that. What do you guys think? How do these trends kind of impact our brand and voice, or do they? I mean, Caesar, you're really up onto the like newest trends on social media and everything, like Hormozy and all these things. Like, how do we allow these things in without letting them take over?
I actually don't think I follow trends as much. I really I like Hormozy, and he's
No, I didn't mean that you follow him, just that you're aware of them.
and also I don't know if I'm aware, because like I don't think I'm aware of Hormozy stuff, but I'm not aware of like the latest dances and stuff, right? So I get what you're saying, but I just, the way I like to do it is just, I like, because I was influenced a lot by Tim Ferriss, and Tim Ferriss's philosophy is just like really like not trying to be part of the crowd, and like when the crowd goes one way, you should reconsider going that way, like right. And it's not to be contrarian, but just to, I guess I've learned to just look for what I like, and if I like it, then I'm inspired by it, and I actually start thinking about what I would do with that format, right? So like the word of the day, he's like, the word of the day is, and I'm like, I could totally do something like that. I'm like, I could fucking do something like that, and I'm going to. And so maybe that's a trend, but I think that's why that is how you become somebody that people then begin to copy. And we started to see that when people started to copy our format. And, after reading the book with Hormozy, and just like the only way to stay on top of it is just to continuously, I'm just following what I like. So if everybody starts copying, right, it's just like, all right, well, you're playing my game. And that's the game we want to play. We want to play our game. And so it's more about what resonates with me, and then do I think it'll be badass, and then just follow that.
Authenticity, exactly
Yeah.
like Itzel said.
I think that's the key, because then you become a copy and you're not authentic, and then it's not as cool.
And I feel like people just naturally gravitate towards that. Like the more you're just yourself, the more like I just want to be around you because you're being yourself. And it's not a matter like I feel like it just promotes to be genuine to yourself. Like now that I see how you are, and you motivate me to try and discover like how I should be. And maybe I take some of like those aspects and implement that into my life, but then I start to discover, well, what is it that I like now? And so how can I be more of myself? Yeah. And I feel like that's the kind of community that you want to be around. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can get tricky, like if you start as a company, you start following all the trends, because then you never build anything you're really known for. You're kind of known, like you're saying, you're known for being copycatters. But I do think there are certain elements of trends that you can follow. If it seems like, with music, for example, like if we're doing videos and like K-pop is hot, like it would be smart to do that, but you don't have to change your look or your vibe or your, you can add things or whatever, pictures are back. So then you start posting more pictures. So there's a lot of ways to like get on trends without changing the essence of the brand. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
One of my favorite things was like whenever like we picked like the format, like the one that you were making for like De La Story for a lot of the time. But then Jay released like a similar format, but it felt like just Jay. I'm like, I love the voice that's like coming through this,
it's
and
stoic Jay's voice.
the vibe that's just like coming through. It's just
Super
like,
chill.
oh my god, I'm gonna give Jay a hug. Like, like he's like right here, like sitting next to me, telling me about this record shop and stuff. So that was exciting.
So Itzel, what are some common challenges that brands face in creating captivating content?
Well, the content, captivating content, I think that the challenges, I think that it will be that not a lot of them are self-aware of what they're doing. I see a lot of that. And I think that's when you see that all of them are following the trends. and but I think that the challenge, I think that also right now it's a lot of maybe different apps of different contents where you can create. For me personally, sometimes I feel a little overwhelmed by, okay, what is it that where do I start? And I think that that is contrary to where you guys at, because you are in the ocean of content, and for me it's like, okay, well, I want to be there, but for me I think it's more like in the part that gets before the creation of content. Yes.
What do you guys think? What are some of the barriers to captivating content creation?
Yeah, I think she put it really well. That was cool. Yeah, I know, but people aren't self-aware. I think people are just copying and they're not doing something that they think is cool. With our content, with my content, I just do things. I do them in the way that I would watch them, and then I actually watch my videos. Actually, that's kind of weird, but I'm just like, this is so cool. Like, I'm glad I made this. Like, I like that. And so when I'm happy with it, I don't know. It's like, and then it resonates with people. But the other thing is that, and then there's like, and then you can get lost in the number of platforms. Hormozy puts it well in his book. It's like, you can have two strategies. One, you go deep on one platform, and then after you dominate that platform, go wide. Or if you're a little more like versed in content, then you can go wide and then go deep. There's downsides to both, but I can also see how some people are trying, like maybe us. I think a problem that we might have is we're going a little wide, which is fine, but and that's why YouTube isn't taking off. But we're going pretty deep, I guess, TikTok and Instagram maybe, and so we just have to talk about that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, I think it's an interesting question because I have conversations with people that want to grow their platform. It's usually Instagram, and I always ask them like, "What's the purpose? Like, what do you want to make?" Like a good example is my mom. Sorry, mom, but she's in real estate, and like she does a lot of stuff where she doesn't need to necessarily market, but she wants to grow her Instagram all the time. And she's like, "What do I do? What do I do?" She's like, "I'll hire you guys." And I'm like, "But first, like, what do you want it to look like? What is it that you want to create?" She's like, "Well, I want it to be kind of real estate, but like I want it to be lifestyle too." And then I'm like, "Well, then you need to kind of narrow down which, like, why would you not want real estate?" And then she starts to go off like, "Well, I don't want to look like the rest of the people." And then, so I think a lot of the times the barrier is they don't know what they really want, and then they think that like they need to start seeing opportunities for content. Like I told her, okay, well, she showed me a lady that's cool on Instagram. I'm like, well, that's like at a dinner. Like I can't be around you all the time to capture these moments. So like I think another thing is like know what you want and then start seeing the opportunities to capture the content. Because there's never an appropriate time to start. You kind of just have to like start. Like sometime with the vlog, we just started vlogging out of nowhere. So I think people don't really know what they want and why they want to make content. So I think that's an important like factor.
I think being around people like you guys, Caesar and Angel specifically, since I've been around you, I've become much more comfortable with creating content for myself. I think my prior business model was to go after clients and do the client work and do a superior product, from that end of it. But it was lacking something, it was lacking that mission, that goal, that purpose behind it, and now like you guys kind of put me in this chair right here, and it's new and it's uncomfortable and it's scary, but it's also enriching and fun and exciting and things like that. So I think, this just goes back to say that being around certain types of people really can help put you in a good spot for creating captivating content and being yourself and being comfortable being yourself. You guys make me feel really comfortable to be who I am. And it's just, it's a great feeling, honestly. I just want to say thank you for that. And Jay, not to say that you weren't part of that too. Jay's always encouraged me and pushed me to work harder and everything like that. But I think from a creative standpoint, like since we started working together, I just felt a lot more comfortable with you, like working and doing content,
Well, I wanted to add something. You haven't said anything, right?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. The other thing is that people, I think the biggest thing, because I'm wondering, I think it's also in business. And again, I'm going to reference Hormozy because I feel like he figured a lot of shit out. He's a really good he can explain things really simply that other people understand and had more experience, but he can just teach it. He's a good teacher. And so there's like, when I'm wondering like, why can't this person make good content? And I think it's sometimes because there is you're doing it other than for making a valuable piece of content. And that muddies the waters. That makes it hard because you want clients. And so you're making the content to get the clients and you're missing the point. It's like, you have to really, really, really give value. And like, then once, all right, now you have the value. Now you have to make it very easy to consume. Like you have to make it very seamless to where it's like, whoa, what just happened? Right? If it's just clunky, I'm out. But if there's no value, I'm out. And then, and if you're thinking like, I need to get their money, you need to work on those two skills first. Right. And so I become I'm subscribing a lot now to the idea of like, delay the money. If you can delay the money, I can see, because we can make money right now and we can make like $2,000 right here or there. But I really see if we can wait a little bit, like I'm thinking there's gonna be some crazy numbers out there where it's just like 50 grand. And it's like, whoa, like guys, 50 grand for a video. And I think that comes from the delay because it's just like most people don't do it. And if you can build all that reputation,
Build the foundation, right?
yeah, you build the reputation, you build the skill, and it's just like there's so much demand that there's going to be those people that can have that money and just be like, yeah, take it. I want you.
Absolutely.
Totally.
I kind of wanted to touch on what he said and kind of ask you. So, how do you measure the success of like what we went through the other day, that core exercise? Like, how do you measure the success in a brand of that kind of exercise? How do we know if it's working? You know?
I think that time comes into the equation. I think that it's something that we are starting to see. For me, like this was like the beginning of something that is going to just self-expand. And I think that, like you said, right now you guys have the torch and you're gonna run with it. And I think that you're going to start seeing like, oh, okay, now we have a direction and now our skills and what we want to do is going to be focused on this. And I think the growth, you can see it and you can feel it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you don't resonate with it, you recommend redoing this exercise again to see if it...
Yes, and I think it's like we said before, it's a constant evolution that you as a team members are constant learning something new and wanting to maybe try other things. But as a core foundation, always come back and see, okay, where we at? Do we need to adapt to another way, modify, and we can come up again and guide you and align you, because like a car, it's gonna not be aligned all the time, and like a person, so it's kind of like this realignment during your process, and kind of like come back to each other.
Absolutely. Let's say there's other brand strategists like yourself listening to this podcast. What advice do you have for them? Where do you see this going in the next 5 years, this industry, like what you're doing specifically? How's it going to grow, expand?
Well, I think that especially right now with all the economy and then all the businesses really trying to, be different and be out there. I think that for me and for us, it's a great time to be alive.
Agreed.
And for the other brand designers and strategists and facilitators, and for me, it's like, oh, thank you that you're doing this, because it's more of just being graphic design, of just doing pretty things, but then the really having the strategy and doing the work and being more of us, working more with more people and more businesses are doing this type of work before just going out there. I think for me, that is the beginning of something to changing the business and for better impact. And for me, I think is the impact that we have and on everything.
Absolutely.
What do you do besides graphic design? Like, what are your passions besides, like, I know that this is your passion, but
Yes.
is there other passions?
Oof, I mean, right now it's all about design. For some time, I was sustainability. Like, I'm very like into how can we not necessarily save the world, but it's how can we do better. Then also self improvement. I think is also one of my passions. I always trying new things of how can I be better to myself and better to others, and how can I be growing. And like we mentioned, like all the breathing exercises. Like I'm very into having a routine that is going to help me become who I want to be, because I want to do great stuff. And yeah.
I always tell people it's not easy being great. Like I think it takes every part of your life to be like good.
Yeah.
Maybe like healthy, sleep good, like good interactions with others, and then obviously mastering your craft. But yeah, I like that. I appreciate that.
Oh, are you gonna start making video content? Have you been thinking about that, or?
Yes. Yes. Now that I don't know, like life and the universe is very like, I think it guides you to where you need to be. And for me to having the opportunity to meet you, I think that is going to help me a lot with my content and video, and for me just to know and practice the skill. And I really like what you said, like to really teach people to see the opportunity and to catch that and share that. And then for me, I think it's sharing all of this, all the things that I want to do. And I think that being around you guys, I think it's going to help me, and I'm happy for that.
And we're so happy to be a part of it and help you in any way,
Yes.
shape, or form. Seriously.
I think there is a huge opportunity. Well, there is a huge opportunity in the Spanish and English
Yes.
content, and like for like you, me,
there's
and
a huge
Jay,
gap, too.
and even
Yep.
yeah, and even Angel. It would help us a lot or it would help me a lot. Like I would want like Uciel or somebody like you or Azul to like help give me confidence in what I'm saying in Spanish, because I can be just as energetic, but I
Yeah.
sometimes need help. Like did I say anything stupid there? Did I? Yeah. And yeah, and I think we can like that is it's like a hard thing that nobody's doing, and it's very very exciting. And you could do it, we could do it, and I'm just thinking like all the videos we've made, we
huge
just
opportunity.
translate them to Spanish, and like with the same energy, and I can do that. You can do that too. But also, do you know what is the content landscape look like in just the Spanish world? Because I feel like in the English world, it's like boom, full force. Is it the same in like the Spanish world?
Oof. I mean,
I get the impression that it's a little less.
yes.
There's less people doing it.
less quality content in
Really?
Spanish.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's
Sounds like an opportunity to me.
like I feel like there's a lot of content out there, but for some reason I don't know, maybe it's because because when I lived in South America, I didn't get the impression that there was people, even there's like in English there's tiers. It's like full. It's like, all right, the top tier is full, the middle tier is full, right? The bottom tier is full of like people making shitty content, all right, kind of okay, and really good content. And it's not that it's like hard to get at any level, it depends on your way of learning. But in Spanish, it felt like there was a little more empty in every bucket. Like it was just, I don't know if that makes sense. There's just like just less people doing it, and I wonder why.
I think that for me, I consume content in English, you know? So even though I speak Spanish, but my content I seek it in English.
Why?
So I don't know. I think that because I'm here, because I know, I think probably unconsciously that there's where the content is. You know, I don't seek it in, I'm going to look for a video and then I look at it in Spanish. I always go to English. But I know that there are less people focusing on really creating quality Spanish content.
The channels might change. Like, like WhatsApp is very different. I mean, I know it's not like I don't think you post on there like as like a feed, but it's,
No, they have kind of like the stories.
yeah, it's very
can see
widely used.
stories.
Yeah. But I think Facebook and Instagram are like the main ones, right?
yes.
TikTok, I guess everything. But one thing that is true is like the number of like, I guess, self-help like content, I think usually comes from the English world and then is translated. Oh, there's like a lot more in the English world,
Yes.
and then it's translated
Translated
into
into
Spanish. But a lot of stuff doesn't get translated, right? So there's just a lot more options in English.
Yes.
I feel like.
Yep.
Which is getting crazy because also the biggest English speaking country in the world is now going to be India. And so everything's just heading towards like every country that you go to, most countries except China, I feel like is catering towards an English visitor. And but Spanish is still fucking huge. It's like huge.
Yes.
All of South America, you got Europe and so huge opportunity there. Yeah. Very excited to make some content.
Yeah. Yes.
So are there any like resources that you can direct us to help us find more information on like brand strategy and guidance? You recommended, I think, a book the other day. Oh no, that was a separate subject.
Yeah, that was
but,
separate of in systems
but
thinking.
any like platforms or resources that you can refer us to kind of help us find more information?
For me, I follow this other creative community in the internet that is called The Future.
I love them.
Oof, yes. I mean, for
Yes,
me,
Christo and everything.
yes, yeah. For me, is like
Incredible.
learning from them is like amazing. So that is a community that you can learn a lot from.
What do they do?
They're amazing. They help with sales pitch. They help like how to price.
Yeah,
and, like,
they help
yeah.
the creatives in the business of design
Yeah.
and design of
and
the
how
business.
to sell and everything. It's
Yep.
incredible.
Oh, they make like
Super
business
good.
content for creatives.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. It's a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a company, a group, and yeah.
Where are they at?
I think they're in Cali.
California. Mhm.
Oh, it's fucking.
Yeah,
they're
everybody.
badass. hey, easy with the words after.
Dude.
Oh, LA, yes.
What was I gonna say? Damn, I forgot. The future channel took my mind for a spin.
What are you gonna say?
It's 'cause that's what I used to watch before, like to go get a raise. I would study Christo and before talking to my boss, and then when I became a contractor, yeah, I would go study and study and study, and then that way when I go talk to clients, I knew how to like sell and like sell my value, not my time, and like it's a bunch of stuff. But we can watch those videos; they're really great. But I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry.
It's okay.
Dude, the opportunity here in like our region, it's like empty. Like nobody, there's like they're all in California or New
Yes.
York or something. There's no like groups like us.
And we're uniquely positioned right on the border, so we have this
Yep.
unique opportunity to do this bicultural kind of exploration of
And to go like really international, like a big, like Yes Theory, or like it's just like, oh, these guys are from the Southwest. These guys are the guy, and like put our region in the map. I'm hyped.
I feel like we did one small part of your entire thing, right?
Yes.
Can you just explain briefly like some of what else comes with it? Because we did one part. Imagine if we did all of it. I'm just saying, like, and we were so like, holy shit, dude. With one, like, with I don't know how long. I don't know if
Yes.
that was just the beginning or what.
Yes. Excellent question. Thank you. Yeah, the brand core is the first step. Then we move into really going into the mission, the vision, and the values. Then the goals, the awareness goals, the financial goals, and then we move into the communication channels. And I think that comes where, like, okay, now as a brand, what are your channels to communicate you, and social media, website, person, and then your brand story. So that is kind of like the foundations. It's the core, the mission and vision and values, the goals, and then the brand story.
So that's a lot of different aspects. I'm curious, which one have you seen has the most impact? Like in terms of when you're helping a company, which aspect is like the 80-20 rule, right? Like
Yes.
which one is deriving all the gains?
Definitely the core. Then I think that values, it comes to a huge part, because I think that also having those identify for you and for a team, I think it really separates what you do and what you want to do and what you're doing. Then I think also the goals, kind of to really sit down with your client and going through, okay, what is it that you want to do, how you want to do it, by when, and that also gives them a lot of impact.
Absolutely. Who would you say is your target audience for your clients?
For me, yeah, it's all the kind of like the conscious people who want to roll out their sleeves and do the work, not just like I need a logo and here are the options, but that they want to go into this deep journey of getting to know themselves. Because for me as a designer, I don't see it like, oh, this is how you're gonna look like. You as a client have those answers, and I'm just there with you and guiding and to finding those. So I'm just looking for those people who are curious and who want to really put something of quality out there.
What about socially conscious? Is that a big aspect of what you're doing?
Yes, socially conscious, of environmental conscious, human conscious. Just surround myself with people who want to do good, and definitely, those are my people.
What's the long-term impact you want to have?
I think that I just want to use whatever skill I have to have the best impact that I can have on people, on the planet. And I think that it just summarized for me to all that energy that I want to put up there, to start with myself and to just radiate that and be as good as I can every day, day by day. Yeah.
What questions do you have for us? I'm interested.
Oof.
Or individually or as a team. I feel like that'd be interesting.
Yes. Oof. Let me.
No worries.
I wasn't prepared.
No, don't worry. Then I'll ask.
Caesar, why don't you have a pan dulce?
What? Oh, how dare you? How dare you put me on the spot like that? You know I can't do that.
I brought some pan dulce,
Caesar.
but then now I'm finding out that you are into very consistently. In
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to politely.
No, that's okay. That's perfect.
Nice.
It's okay. We'll eat them.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Actually, why don't we share what Itzel helped us discover about our own brand?
She thinks of questions for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is our one-liner that was developed with Itzel the other day. And just to give you some background for this, F Genius Media is the new conglomeration of Zazu and De La Story. So we ran through this exercise with Itzel, and this is what we came up with. F Genius Media provides content to curious followers in a collaborative environment with an energetically wise voice, helping them feel empowered and part of a community. And what makes F Genius Media different is they're lifelong learners. So this is something we worked on for a couple hours and kind of filtered down all of our ideas into the essence of who we are. And I feel like it's such an accurate representation of who we are. I know it's a little odd to say energetically wise, but I don't see it any other way with who we are, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because like to some people it would just sound like a sentence, but to us, like when we look at that, it's like
I love that. No, I mean, I think that because I want to get to know a little bit more about you guys, I just want to know, like you asked me, like, what are your other passions or besides this thing that you do?
Go for it, Zach.
It's funny. Yes, I have 4 dogs, so I'm very passionate about them. I have their initials tattooed on my ankle, actually. I love them so much. I'm really family oriented. Like, I'm older now. I'm not in my 20s anymore, so I'm not going out and partying and doing all that kind of stuff. I really love to create stuff. When I'm bored, I pick up my camera and I go find a scene, even if it's in my backyard and it's just a flower with a ladybug on it, I go and create something. I have a motto, create every day. And like, that's my goal, is like create something every single day, even if it's a small little thing. Like this morning, it was me getting out of my car, seeing the sunrise, and posting a video of it on Instagram. And well, Angel, you did. I didn't just steal your story, I swear to God, because I did post it on it. But Angel did the same thing, which was he was driving to work this morning and he saw the sunrise and he pulled his car over and took a picture of it because it was amazing this morning. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was absolutely stunning.
Did you do it too? Yeah.
Yes, we all did it. We all did it.
Yeah.
See, I love this. It just shows you. But I mean, I know it sounds cliche maybe, but I love to create, and that's what we do for business.
Yep.
And so I'm passionate about our business too, but it's really what I like to be doing. I also like to ride my bike, to exercise. It's been a little less of that lately. I knew you were going to look at me when I said that. But yeah, I like to be active and be outside and interact with people. I love interacting and learning from people. That's my thing.
Yep. Ooh, that's awesome. awesome.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because as you asked it, I was thinking to myself like it's mainly this. Like this is what I always want to be doing, and outside of this, it's mainly making sure that I continue to build strong relationships with my family, with my friends, and making sure that those experiences are very unique as well, and that they get their own set of time as well as this gets its own set of time as well.
Yep. Yeah, the balance.
Yeah, got to maintain that balance. But this is mainly where the excitement is, and this is what I'm attempting to make everything. Yeah.
I love it.
Passions. I'm a very passionate guy.
Dance.
And I've realized that I need to like take them one at a time. So right now it's business, right? It's like business, but combined with this, like I always wanted to find the thing where I felt like every day was a Friday and I felt like, dude, I'm on fire. I'm a very romantic guy. I'm going to tell this story. I'm a very romantic guy. And so when I was a little bit younger, like high school, college, I would meet these girls and I would have like this like inspiration to do these incredible romantic acts that would just blow people away or scare people away. Right. And that fire, I began to think about it and I was like, dude, that is like in me. And I think I can find that in every part of my life, my career, like everything. That should be how I feel all the time.
Passion is something you bring with you. It's not something that you find, right? Like
Right.
it's something you carry with you to everything that you do.
So when I went to South America, which is one of my passions, traveling, because you learn so much. It's like learning on steroids. And I was like on a mission to find that thing that sets me on fire that I can make money with for the rest of my life. And then I found this and I was like, let's fucking go.
Let us go.
And then what travel is a passion because you learn so much. Dancing is a passion because it's a form of learning and a form of getting past anxieties and like being vulnerable. Cooking is a passion because I don't know why. I just fucking get into it and I'm like, oh, I guess because
You
I
really
love-
are the most romantic man I've ever heard. You're like dancing, making fine dinner. How can the rest of us compete, Caesar?
Oh, bro, jeez.
We can.
There's what else? What else do
You
I
write
love?
poetry too?
You know, I wanted to start reading poetry
I've got some good recommendations for you. I love poetry.
Matthew McConaughey would write poems in his notebooks, and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if I just wrote like little poems in my notebook? But and then creating stuff, I just really and family. I found out after one of my trips to Thailand, it was just like I don't know what happened, but there was a switch in me, and I was like, I completely changed. I used to be scared, you know, at the end of a family reunion when everybody has to say bye, and I'm like, fuck. I have to say bye to all these people. I kind of see them sometimes, but it's like my cousins that I didn't visit as much. But then I came back and I was like, dude, what's up, guys? How's it going? And it's just like, that's everything. Family, friends, people. In Thailand, I realized it's all about the people. Like it's all about the people. And so that's why the family dinners for me were so big. And I just know when I have a family, dude, my fucking Christmases, my Thanksgivings are going to be off the charts. Okay. Because it's all that matters. And at the end of the day, like all of this, I feel like I'm passionate about it because I just want to, when my moment comes of like death, I just want to, I know that I'll just be like, I did it. I did it great. Let's go. Like this, I had a good run. Even now I can be like, that was awesome.
I think the biggest fear for me is living like a traditional, ordinary life. Like I think,
Yeah.
like when I'm on my deathbed, I'll be happy no matter what, as long as I followed my own path. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my question to myself is like, how do I live the most unforgettable life? Not for the world, but for me. Like, how do I live my most unforgettable life? And that's why and a friend once told me, he's like, Caesar, you know what I think is missing? I think a lot of people just aren't passionate enough. Like, there's not enough passion. People kind of like things. I think what we need more is people to be like on fire about things. And I looked at him, I was like, Brendan, that was like the deepest thought you've ever told me. This is crazy. We're on a car ride to UT and he was just like, it was just a passing thought. And that stuck with me. Yeah. So.
Jay?
Dude, that was beautiful, bro. Good.
That was.
Yay.
I would say my passions outside of this are music and cycling. Like I've done them my whole life. And I think if you know me, you probably know I'm doing one of those or both of those every day of my life. Probably both of those every day of my life. Even commuting. Like that's not my ride today. I'm going to go ride later. But I think what I'm finding is like I like things that you have to commit to. And you know that you have to commit and it's going to take some time. But if you just suffer and like get there, like that's what I love. I love the suffering and like the process of it. And this, what we have going, gives me the same feeling that has given me in the past. And I think that's why I'm like, yeah. And I think it's the same. It's like, we're going to be on a journey and we're going to suffer, but I want to suffer. And like, I want to see the ups and downs. Like, I don't want to just get there. Like for music, I don't want to be an overnight celebrity. Like, I want to have years of like, dude, like I finally got there. And then like take from what I learned from that. And so this is becoming like a big passion for me because I'm starting to see it and like feel it, not just like for the money. Like whatever, like if I just live by like within my means for the rest of my life, I think I'll be okay. Unless I have kids and stuff, and I want to like. But yeah, I think my passion is the process, and I think there's going to be a big process here with this team. So, and my dog and my cat, yeah.
Just at the end. His dog and cat are awesome.
I think something that I heard from everyone here, and it really resonated with me, is like we all have to be like a little bit vulnerable to do what we're doing, right? Like we have to be willing to be open. We have to be willing to put ourselves out there to do what we're doing because it's very public, you know. Like everyone can lay eyes on what we're doing, you know. So I think that's unique. Is like not everyone's willing to be vulnerable, and I think that's where the lack of passion is because people aren't willing to put themselves in an uncomfortable situation, like going dancing. You said it's overcoming anxieties. That's the truest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's why most people dance when they're drunk, you know. Like,
Yeah, actually, dude, it's I forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck.
It's funny how that can happen. Like you look like you were so confidently about to stay.
Because it was there, and then it was just like, what? You're just leaving me when I'm about to say what you were? Fucking ideas. Wait. It's along the lines of what you were saying.
About vulnerability,
Vulnerability.
and lack of passion.
Oh, dude. I don't know how we got here, but it's just so much fun. I guess, like, in a sense, content-wise, because I've seen results. I told Angel this once. Once I enter a skill very like, I don't know shit. Tell me what to do. Am I doing this right? Am I doing it self-conscious and shit? And then once I figure out that I'm doing it right, I'm like, fuck off. All right. I know what I'm doing. All right. Go fuck yourself. Like, what are you telling me? You telling me I don't know what I'm doing? Look at the results. I just get really cocky, but cocky because it's just like, look what I did. All right. And I'm not saying I'm the best.
Confidence is key though.
Yeah. But I want you to show me what you've done. And if you've done something better, then I'll listen to you. But if you haven't, shut the fuck up.
That's a good perspective on, and I think that's a healthy perspective to have. Otherwise, you get lost in the sauce a little bit.
Yeah. And so right now, I just feel so free, like with like content. It's just the greatest feeling ever. It's the greatest feeling ever. And I was thinking like, damn, I want this sort of freedom in every part of my life. Like this freedom of not really caring about what other people think, but caring about the learning, the process, the objectivity of like, am I getting better? Right? I'm not the
Am
best.
I being the best I could be?
Yeah,
am I
getting better?
1% better every
Yeah.
day, you know, and improving myself?
It's fun.
Guys, this has been an enlightening conversation. Itzel, do you have any parting thoughts or questions for us?
No, I mean, just maybe just touching a little bit about the passion.
Yes.
That the way I see it is like, I think the rest of the people are doing stuff because they have the fire outside them. Like, oh my God, I have to pay this, I have to do this, la, la, la. But it's very different when you have the fire inside you.
Damn.
Love that so much.
Yeah,
Write
actually.
that down.
Wow.
Put that down somewhere.
That was pretty awesome.
That was deep.
You put that really well.
Itzel.
Yes, and then the way also that I see it is it's worth a moment of pain and for having a lifetime of glory, you know, like that. I want to, like, my next tattoo want to put invite the uncomfortable. That's my first value, always inviting the uncomfortable. And because it's an invitation, everybody has the decision of, oh, I want to stay comfortable or I want to do this and invite it, make it your friend.
I love that, and I couldn't agree with it more. Like living in uncomfortability is like a goal of mine. You have to do it. Like Jay just said, live in the suffering because you know what's on the other side of suffering. The other side of suffering is greatness. You know.
Yeah, one of these days we should dig into like Jay's process when you were like
He's very intense.
like fully like you're still an athlete, but you were like when you were like going hard, winning state championships, like getting past that pain. I'm super interested to hear that guy Jersey Gregrick. He's also like a philosopher. And one of his philosophies that he tells his like people that take his program is like, easy choices, hard life, hard choices, easy life. And I was like, and that's like fucking awesome. It's like, oh, that's true.
Guys, this has been a really great talk. Honestly, I'm sorry I tried to end it 3 times prematurely. But we finally got to the right space. I feel like we've gotten good content, and like it was such a good conversation. Itzal, thank you so much for it.
Thank you.
Lastly, Itzal, where can people find you?
Okay, yeah, I have my Instagram for the studio. It's called Septima, at Septima, and my personal Instagram is itselsam_. And the website is also septima.co. C-O.
How do you spell that?
ZEPTIMIA. Septima.
Yeah, we can put it in the show notes too.
Yes. Cool.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next week on the FG podcast. Thanks everyone.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. Woo!